What's up, sports bettors? I'm sorry if you tailed me yesterday. I know it was a heartbreaker for these 5 picks to win $10,000. We had Grant under 4.5 rebounds, Hart under 5.5 assists, and then we had these 3 picks. We won 4 out of 5. Josh Hart ended up with 6 assists. He got one in the last minutes of the game, so we still had some big wins, but it was probably a $25,000 swing for me. Josh Hart getting that final assist. So I'm running it back. I have 5 picks on Underdog Fantasy to win a lot of money. So let's go ahead, let's go through it. The way that Underdog Fantasy works, as a recap, is any 5 picks you select, you're betting one to win 20. One to win 20. You switch Josh Allen to an under, one to win 20. You switch Eckler to an under, we switch this to a different player, one to win 20. Any 5 pick parlay, you are betting $1 to win 20. Okay, so what that means is based on, just kind of going through the implied odds, because you're always betting one to win 20 on a 5 leg parlay on Underdog Fantasy, the implied price they're giving you is roughly minus 122. So essentially, you're placing a 5 leg parlay where every single bet you're placing, the over and the under, are priced at minus 122. If you had a 5 leg parlay on a sports book, where all picks were minus 122, your parlay would come out to plus 1900 odds, betting one to win 20. So it's no different. On Underdog Fantasy, any 5 leg parlay is betting one to win 20. So the implied price is minus 122 on the overs and the unders. So you want to find value as a sharp bettor at minus 122 implied odds. And that's for a 5 pick entry. It depends if you take a 3 pick of whatever, right? So for a 3 pick and a 5 pick entry, you're getting minus 122 implied odds on Underdog. For a 2 pick, you're getting minus 137. So it's a lot worse, right? You basically never want to be playing 2 pick entries on Underdog Fantasy. It never makes sense. So you'll see nearly all of my plays are going to be 5 pick or 3 pick entries on Underdog. So first, I ended up taking Mike Thomas under 14.5 receiving yards. Why do I like it? Well, all of the sports books have the under heavily juiced. So the under is a lot more likely to occur, right? Pinnacle is the sharpest sports book in the world. You're not going to beat the sports books who have spent dozens of years training their models, investing in data, and they take millions of dollars of bets on each game, each NFL game. Right? Pinnacle is the most efficient betting market. They allow the highest betting limits. You're not going to beat them, just deciding, watching, highlights of sports and deciding to bet on them. That's not how you're going to beat Pinnacle. They're too sophisticated, right? It also means you think you're smarter than everyone else placing a bet. There's millions of dollars being bet on the NFL. It's a very efficient betting market. If you're just looking at point spreads and picking them off, it's like looking at stocks and just being like, this one's definitely going up. You're not going to beat the market. Nobody beats the market except for the hedge funds, right? You want to use data to inform your betting decisions. You have to be using data to inform your betting decisions. So Mike Thomas under 14.5 receiving yards, there's no BS here, right? Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker, has this at minus 160. DraftKings minus 155. Caesars minus 142. So some slight differences from book to book. Pinnacle is the most bullish on the under, but kind of looking at all 3 of these sports books, putting the most weight in Pinnacle's odds because that's the sharpest sports book, it's very clear we're getting a lot of value on Underdog being able to get the under at minus 122. So that's the first play I went with. Next, I went with Winslow over 5.5 rebounds. So once again, you could get this on PrizePicks in a 5-pick flex play. So I actually, on PrizePicks, you can get 5-pick flex plays at minus 119 odds. So I know this really isn't fair, because I tried to make this video in time where these games wouldn't have been live, but this fight already started. You'll notice we ended up getting this 5-pick entry on PrizePicks. We had under 2.5 total rounds on PrizePicks right here at minus 119 implied odds in a 5-pick flex play. What's crazy about this is wild. So pay attention if you want to understand why OddsJam is so valuable, is any 2-pick entry you create, right? You're betting 20 to win 60. 20 to win 40 in profit on PrizePicks. 20 to win 40 in profit is just plus 200 odds. So on the under, taking this under in a, if you were to create a 2-pick flex play on PrizePicks, you need 2 picks to win, you would be getting plus 200 odds. And you could have included this play. Now what's crazy is on Bet Online, if you just bet on this one bet, on the over, you would have been getting plus 202 odds. So that's how favored the under was. You can see lines ripped lower in this UFC fight. The under was like a 2.5 to 1 favorite, and we got this on PrizePicks, a platform that doesn't even vary your payout depending on if you select the over or the under. And you can see all the sports books have the under extremely favored. The no vig odds are minus 204, and we got this at minus 119 in a PrizePicks 5-pick flex. The profit margin of this one play was 23.57%. So next we had Dort over 3.5 rebounds. And then what else did we have in this entry? I forget. So we had Dort over 3.5 rebounds, which it looks like is still going on. And then hopefully you're able to get down some of these plays on PrizePicks. I also went with Raheem over 1.5 receptions, Jacoby Myers over 4.5, and Mike Gesicki under 2.5. So again, what you can do is just filter to only see the sportsbooks you use. So if we wanted to see if there were any other player props that look good on PrizePicks, what I can do is I can just go here and I can refresh OddsJam. And what it's going to do is it's just going to go through, the entire market. So it's literally going to scan all these lines on PrizePicks for the NHL, NBA, college football, soccer, everything. And then it's just going to show you where the value is, right? So what a lot of people do is they'll just browse OddsJam for games they want to bet on. They'll just literally pull up OddsJam and hunt for value on PrizePicks and Underdog Fantasy. So here, it looks like DeAndre Ayton over 8.5 rebounds. If you wanted to take that, you'd prefer to take that on Underdog. Over 8.5 in a 3-pick or 5-pick entry, you can get at minus 122 implied odds. All the sportsbooks have the over juiced from minus 132 to Pinnacle, so that's the sharpest sportsbook, so their opinion matters the most, has this minus 153. So kind of looking across the market, it's like, okay, seems like there's some pretty dang good value on Ayton on Underdog Fantasy, being able to get him over 8.5 rebounds. PrizePicks has the line half higher, right? So if we took Ayton over 8.5 and he has 9 rebounds, on PrizePicks, that bet would not win. You would push. On Underdog, we win. So we're always looking for value, right? For edges as a sharp bettor. You're not going to beat the sports books just watching highlights of sports. So you want to use the sportsbook odds against them, right? You treat every sportsbook as an independent data point of where the line should be set, and you hunt for value. You hunt for edges, as they're called. So for example, here on PrizePicks, it's like, hey, maybe Chris Paul, CP3, over 4 rebounds isn't terrible. DraftKings has his over 4.5, juice towards the over, but Pinnacle has the under favored. So the market's a little, some sportsbooks have the under favored, some sportsbooks have the over favored. Looks like DraftKings is a little bit of an outlier, having the over favored. So that's how you want to think as a sharp bettor, right? Use all this market information to try to get a sense of where should this line be set. So we can see, okay, are there any other plays available that we want to lock in for tonight on PrizePicks? And we can reload. So we have Winslow, and here are 5 picks. If you wanted 5 more picks on PrizePicks, because again, 2 of these have already started, I'm riding with Raheem, Jacoby Myers over 4.5 receptions, and Mike Gesicki under 2.5. You can see those 3 are still available, as well as this Josh Hart under play, which literally lost us $25K yesterday. So let's go ahead and get back to it. So this play I actually went with. So I have Winslow over 5.5 rebounds. That's pick number 2. Mike Thomas under 14.5 receiving yards. Winslow over 5.5 rebounds. Ayton over 8.5 rebounds. Josh Hart, I'm riding it again. So I actually took this on Underdog, minus 122. So it would have been good in a PrizePicks 5-pick flex. All the sportsbooks have the under heavily favored once again. So let's hope he doesn't end up with 6 assists and literally kill my entry again. So OddsJam, pulling all these lines from Underdog, putting minus 137 and minus 122 on them, and you got to hunt for the value, right? It's pretty simple. You just refresh OddsJam, you hunt for value. So the final play I went with is an NHL prop, Dougie Hamilton, under half of a point. So 5 player props to 20x our money, all have value at minus 122. This is data-driven sports betting. There's no frickin' BS. Follow the data, follow the numbers, hunt for value. It's pretty simple. Then what you can do is just go, okay, let's refresh OddsJam. Let's put in some more sports books, the sports books we use, and see if we can find any more value, right? So final thing to mention is you can now track, you can link your sports books, which is pretty awesome. So you can see right here, PrizePicks is linking automatically because I synced my sports books. So all of your bets are automatically synced from WinBet, Caesars, whatever. All the sports books you can see I synced, automatically synced from Sharp Sports. So what you're going to notice is on my dashboard, this gives me my profit and loss. Automatically pulled from the sports books. It literally pulls automatically from the sports books and will grade my bets as wins and losses, which is pretty awesome. So hopefully this video was helpful. Let's make some money, guys.